Hey guys, good morning. It's Sloan. And yesterday actually, I had probably one of the wildest experiences a writer could have. I'm sitting down and I'm writing this series, and I started writing the first novel in the series, and I'm only 4 pages in. About the eighth time that I've deleted the entire book and started over again because that's my process. It's all kind of stuck in here. And so when I get it on the page and it doesn't feel right, I just delete the whole damn thing until I get the words out right on the page. That's just what I do because it's up in here. And until it gets right on the page, it's just not right. And so I delete the whole damn thing. Um, so yesterday I had a friend come over, and he's a gamer, an RPG fanatic. And so we sat down and we were talking about my story, and I had him take a look at the manuscript, just to get a feel for what um, an avid reader would think of it. And he read all 4 pages in absolute silence. He was riveted, and he just sat there like eyes wide, just oh my god, oh my god, and he's scrolling. So I'm pacing because I'm that girl, and I'm pacing like, so, because someone's reading my book in front of me. And so I'm pacing nervously, smoking a blunt, passing back and forth right behind him. And then he turns to me and says, "Do you have more? You can't leave it there. What happens? What happens?" So I tell him the rest of the story as it is in my head. And he's like, "Oh my God, that's amazing." And then he wants to get into my characters, and he comes up with these ideas, and I'm telling him the region that I'm working in and the timeline that I'm working in, 1000 BC. And he's just like, "Oh my God, the Bronze Age is so interesting because this region and that region." And he has so much knowledge of that region, and that's the stuff that I'm learning right now. And so I invited him to work on the project with me. It was such an amazing experience. And so he's coming over today to help me go over the region and the history of the region and the kings and that sort of thing, so that I can fully process it, so that I can write it and flesh it out properly. So I don't, you know, Stephanie Meyer's the project, person who doesn't do their research on vampires and fucks up the entire series by not following lore. And so I want to go along with our timeline and our history, and I don't want to fuck it up. And so he's going to help me on this project, and I'm actually really, really excited. I mean, I was excited before because it's this project I've been working on kind of on and off for the last 30 years. And now I get to actually put it into motion and get it done. And it's exhilarating. It really is. And to have someone working on it with me who gets it and who absolutely loves the characters already. And these are pre-characters. This is my prequel to the stories that I'm writing. Because the stories that are already half written are characters that are being introduced by this novel. They are characters that are in the dungeons in captivity and being tormented by the kings that I'm introducing in this story. So it's something it's going to be a big book. It's going to be a large book. It's going to be a huge thing. And it's going to be the introduction of a series. So it's going to be pretty freaking huge. And I'm saying this now, not because I'm a fan of RPGs, although I am. I am not saying this because I'm a fan of fantasy novels, although I am. I'm saying this because the world is starved for good writers. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but I've been writing for over 30 years. I've been writing since I was a teenager in junior high school and coming up with these stories. And then when my children were young, I started writing these stories, and these stories are rather deeply and fully developed. Not fully, they can be further developed. All stories can be further developed. Uh, Nothing is perfect, but they have been so deeply developed for so long. They have a lure of their own. And so now that I'm flushing it out on the page, Buffy the Vampire would be put to shame. Twilight will be put to shame, thank the gods. Um, I'm going to go with this is probably as in depth as the Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles, um, but more along the lines of ElfQuest. If you know anything about that, it started in 1975. As a matter of fact, I was highly inspired by ElfQuest, but I wanted my stories to be more along the lines of this Earth, this timeline, because what ElfQuest did was pretty much kind of the same concept, where humans on Earth were so um, threatened, I guess, by the presence of magical creatures, and so they hunted them into extinction. And that's kind of what I'm doing with this series. I'm not localizing myself to one type of magical creature. I am broadening the spectrum and doing like everything. I'm going into dragons, basilisks, elves, nymphs, sprites, everything, ogres, dwarves, everything, everything. Right now, I'm concentrated on elves only because I've always been fixated on them. Um, but yeah, I'm going everywhere with this, and so far, right now, I have about 16 solid books that are already written. This one that I'm currently working on has not been written. It's just a story that's been flopping around in my head to introduce the characters that I've already written for. Um, and I'm just excited. I'm super excited, and so I'm kind of like nervously awaiting my new partner in crime. Um, although I'm trying to figure out the logistics of it. How do I do this? It's not a 50-50 split, obviously, because the work has already been done for the last 30 years. Um, but I want to cut him in on the profits of this, and I'm trying to figure the logistics of that out and the mathematics on that. But outside of that, because this is all so very new, outside of that, this is a project that I'm super, super excited about. And I can't wait for you guys to be involved, but that won't be for at least another year because I won't be able to copyright it until then. So I can't really tell you like the details of my story, but the gist of it is here. This is what I'm working on. This is the thing that I'm working on. It's a huge, huge project, and it's historically as accurate as I can possibly get it. And I'm trying to work on that. I'm working with literally everything. Anunnaki. I'm working with gods. I'm working with everything that you could possibly imagine that happened or possibly happened or was speculated to happen on this planet. That's where I'm going, and so let your imaginations run wild because that is what I'm doing currently, and yeah, that's the project that I'm working on. So yay, be excited for me. I'm excited for me, and I hope that you guys are too. Yeah, I know all of this is being put on hold, and it has been for a really long time, but the wall will clear once I have a chance to sit down and actually do blogs. That hasn't been a thing for a really long time. I still want to do the series on the 27 Club. I just haven't had a chance to get around to doing that. Hopefully, my new partner will want to get in on that, and that'll be a thing. And I might be able to put that up either on this channel or the She, Me, Her, We, which has been dead for months and months and months on end. We'll see what I can do with that. But now I feel that I'm going to be able to be much, much more productive, and so you'll be seeing a lot more of me. Maybe not on here, but as a published author, for sure, in the next year, you'll be seeing the beginning of a series of books that will be coming out, and I'll be working very, very hard on that. Hopefully, I'll have 2 books done by next year. The first one will be published by next year. Yay! I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I know. I'm like a child. I'm jumping up and down. Oh, and like the most exciting thing, I have dropped 60 pounds. I know it doesn't look like it because I wear all black all the time, but check it out. Oh, you can't see it here, but I'm 60 pounds lighter than I was before, and this is me not holding anything in. It's all, yay. So I'm super, super happy. My life is getting so much better. Drama free, thank the gods. My house is empty and I have my office back and I have a spare room. And I think it's right now it's a staging room. Next week, this week, Friday, I'm going to a rave a gothic rave, so it's not, but the spare room has turned into kind of a staging area for said rave, and my clothes are everywhere in there. And so, yeah, the spare room has turned into kind of a dressing room, I guess. Yeah. So there is that. There's progress going on in all sorts of areas, and I'm super happy. And I'm so glad that you guys are with me on this trip. And I will talk to you guys soon. Love you.